welcome to Sorare Sunday for the week of the 30th of June to the 6th of July. I spent most of this week ill and I spent 18 hours in hospital, so I'm not feeling great, but we're going to do a quick sum up in this video, so let's look at what happened this weekend. And I already made a mistake. I meant this week. So let's have a look what happened this game week. There was only one game week over the last week from the 27th to the 3rd. So we've obviously got a game week happening here. In terms of what we got, we actually didn't do too badly. We got 8 Essence, 1 box and 1 card. We got a box from All-Star. We got a card from the Contender. And we got 8 Essence from MLS. So pretty decent. I think it was all from MLS. So look, we got 3 here from this team. And actually, no, we only got 3 from MLS. The rest of our team's doing pretty poorly in that. We're struggling. Like I said before, we haven't got... We've got a lot better teams than we did before. But we're struggling to get like on the podiums or anywhere near like proper good scores for now. Although we have got, with this team, we did the streak, so we got $3 that we were able to use to get a couple of players. And we hopefully get a streak this week as well. We got the tier 4 card for coming 9th here with this team, our Kobe team. So they're doing pretty good. I'm really glad I got that stack. They're doing the biz for me right now. So top shout out to them. And then we got 5 Essence from this team in our Contenders Classic lineup, which actually, looking at it, did really well, didn't it? Look at that. Fujio getting a goal and an assist, getting an assist from Amano, and a clearance off the line from Suzuki. Or is that a... Yeah, clearance off the line. And then an assist from Sasuke. Like, it's not bad. And Ilgu Park is either back from injury or back in the good books because he's now playing regularly, which is good. He's one of our cards, which I thought was going to have to bin off. But no, not anymore. In terms of the under-21s, we did not do great. Just a lot of 30s or did not plays. And this is our team that got us our box in All-Star. We only came like right at the bottom, so it's not like an amazing box. There's not a lot of great prize that we got. But I think we did pretty well. Neto getting a goal, Hutchinson getting a goal in the England-Germany final, and winning the under-21s championship. Elliot Anderson doing all right. And the only thing that let us down was Peyton Miller getting a 20. I mean, if we'd have got like a little bit more, potentially would have gone up to like the next level, but it looks like it's the same prize anyway, so maybe a little bit better box. So I'm not too fussed by that. But yeah, that's how we did this week. Next weekend is already looking quite good, but you know what we say, never to look at it too early because it can go terribly wrong very quickly. So we're not going to look at it yet. We're just going to go on to our player to watch. And my player to watch is another J-League player, who is Koya Matsu. So he is not a young one. He's 30 years old. But as you can see, he plays very regularly. Very rarely is he not in the starting lineup. And if he isn't, he usually gets subbed on. He can get some kind of middling scores, but he also can get some pretty good scores. And he's on a good streak at the moment. If you're looking to get someone in for the rest of the J-League season, he looks like he's finding his form. He's playing very well. And he's really not that expensive. You can pick him up for 37p for an out of season, or £2, £1 for an in season. So he's a pretty decent player that you can pick up really cheaply, and he can get a very good number of assists, or maybe even a goal here and there. So yeah, he's my player to watch. I think that he's a good shout for a regular J-League player. And now we're going to go and have a look at what's in the box.
What's in the box?
And for the first time in what feels like forever, we actually have a box to open. So let's open the box that we won this week. See what we get. 1 essence. So we now have 20 limited essence. So we can do an essence pull, which is a T5 20 essence pull. Or we can save it because they have done the update and they're saying that any essence that you hold from a certain point in July will be times 20 because it's now going to be 1,000 essence to pull any card. So like they're taking away all of these tiers that you just have to pay a flat 1,000 to pull any card, and then it can be anywhere from a T5 to a star card. So times 20 to that is what, 200, 400. So we'd only be like close to halfway if we saved that. So it's depending on how much we earn in the meantime. So do you know what? I think I'll rip it. Go on. There's no reason to hold out now. We want to still be seeing what we can get before the changes happen. So let's reveal the card and see what happens. Got USA. This is an MLS card, I have a feeling. And yeah, San Jose Quakes. You're joking. We got Lima as a rare pull. That is definitely a T5. That is a trash pull. And regrets. My name is. Yeah, that is a rough one to pull there. So we got Lima. We can have a look at him again to see a bit more about him. No, we can't because he's not in my. It takes a lot longer for cards to come through into your gallery at the moment. I'm not sure why. There seems to be like the minting process takes a little bit longer than like the instant transfer as it usually does. But that was what's in the box. But for just a couple of minutes, we're going to have a quick look because Sorare did an update on their update and gave us more information. So we're just going to have a quick look at that. Okay, so the update was on prize pools, competition structure, reveal, and more. So what are we looking at here? So the full competition structure has been revealed. We've got Ligue 1 for France has been added, as well as the Jupiler, I think is how you say it, League, and the Eredivisie. So you now have those as in-season specific. Now remember, they're taking away Classic, so this is just for in-season. And then updated to the structure because they're taking stuff away from Contender and Challenger. You've got Portuguese, Turkish, Danish, Scottish Premier League, and the Austrian League. I can't remember what it's called. Liga, maybe, is in Challenger, and a Contender is K1, J1, Korean and Japanese, Norwegian, Croatian, Argentinian, Bundesliga 2, and French League 2. So its stats very different as well. Might change how people play their cards in those sort of leagues as well. And then they did say that other leagues like Brazil, Russia, Serie B, that are scored but aren't covered so much, like cards aren't being made or anything like that. They're in Contender. They're still covered, but they're in Contender. So that was about the leagues. They did give an update about Serie A. There seems to be some problems with the licensing with that. So there are some issues around not all clubs giving the licenses enough for you to be able to make cards and things like that with Sorare. So they're going to be usable, but they're not going to be a like active part of Sorare in Sorare 26, which is understandable if they can't get them. Like it's understandable that it's going to be kind of moved back a little bit. So it's a bit disappointing because we like Syria, but there you go. It's not going to be in there. Then they talked about card launches and division battles. So here's the calendar for the launches of in-seasons. I'll be keeping an eye on the Jupiler and the Eredivisie because they're my two favourite leagues. I might keep an eye out for Hibs kind of team in July 21st, but I'm probably not because I don't really want to spend a lot of money on in-season, and I feel like a lot of people will be going in for the Scottish League because they score quite highly when you get a high, like Celtic and Rangers and stuff. Obviously, Premier League is the big one on the 31st. A lot of people will be in for that probably. La Liga and Ligue 1 getting its own season chat competition now as well will be quite big for people to keep an eye on that. So be an interesting end of July and beginning of August to see how that all goes down. And then in terms of division battle calendar, I don't really care about the divisions, but there it is. I'm not going to be talking that much about it. They've increased their cash prizes and stuff like that, and how streaks work, to make it more effective, I guess they would say. So that this is why they said they're taking away classic, because you'll get more money, because they're not paying as much for the classic competitions. So you've got more going into in season. But I don't know. We'll see how much that works in reality. But these are the streaks, how it works going forward. I don't know what sort of effect that's going to have on how I play, because I think it's all in season. So unless I get a full in season like Eredivisie and Jupiler League, I probably won't notice much about the streaks. But we'll see. If the cards are cheap enough, if I can pick up like a goalkeeper for under 15 quid, then I think I probably will be able to do a stack of 2 teams within this. But it's if the keeper's like 30 to 40 quid, I'm not spending that sort of money on one card. So that's where I'll probably draw the line. So there's the streaks. I think also streaks are being added to classic as well, is what they said. So you'll be able to get classic streaks as well. It probably will be a little bit harder, I imagine, because of classic cards being a little bit easier to build up and stuff. Essence is being completely changed in a way that you're getting way more essence, because because the amount of essence you need to craft is so much more. So like you'll see a lot more higher numbers, like 1,000 essence and things like that, for the amounts that you can win, because it's now going to cost 1,000 essence. So yeah, talking about the new crafting system. So yeah, July 15th is when it's all going to kind of change. I don't think you're able to do essence pulls from July 15th, but that's when a lot of the stuff changes. You can, all your essence that you have will be multiplied by 20, like I mentioned earlier. And there's going to be a completely different cost for for crafting. They're putting it up to 1,000 essence to pull 1 draw. And then you have to have you can spend a certain amount of essence to like see different stats, so like their nationality or their team that they play for. You also have a chance of getting different draws. So a standard draw has chances of cards, but of different tiers of cards, but is kind of regular. Whereas like a special draw, you're guaranteed a T2 plus. All cards are T2 or better. Special draw, aim for the star, is 1 out of the 10 cards is guaranteed to be a star. And then a special draw full star is all 10 cards are T1 plus. So not necessarily a star, but could be T1 or star. So like there is a bit more. It's very gamified, isn't it? And it's very gambly. So that's how they're going to do things in the future. And they've got all of the probabilities here. So you can have a look at that if you're interested. It's going to be interesting to see how it works out. I'm not sure if I'm going to enjoy this new crafting system more or less. As long as the amount of essence we're given is scaled up accordingly, so that you can actually get 1,000 essence within a couple of weeks with a few teams, that would be great. But then obviously I'm going to have less teams this year, because I'm going to not be playing as much in season, and the classics is being gutted a little bit. So I don't think I'm going to be able to gather as much essence as I was this year. So it's a little bit annoying, I'm not going to lie. And then, like I said, there's the reveal. So league reveal on a standard draw costs 500 essence, on a special draw costs 1,000. Flag 500 essence, on a special 1,000. So it's a lot of essence to do a reveal as well. Like half of your money or all of your money. Or essence, should I say, for another draw. if you want to do a league reveal or a flag reveal. Like that's a fair amount to put in. If it was like 100, that may be a little bit more of like okay, it's a little bit extra, but that's like a big chunk. So I'm not sure if I like that. And that's about it. Like there's they talk about the ceiling, and it's very complicated. And I think the overall thing that I'm taking away from this is Sorare 26 has made the game quite complicated. It's taken away a lot of functionality for people who have classic cards, and means that they will be able to play the game less. It's focused on trying to drain money from people again, and it seems to be a really negative approach. And the way that they have tackled that is by releasing confusing notes. And I just think that the confusing notes, which are super detailed, if you're trying to get more people interested in the game, are not the way to go about it, because simple is best. If someone wants to play a game and they can't get their head around it in the first 5-10 minutes, they're probably going to give up. And this is going to take some while for someone to sit there and be like, what do I even do to even begin to win essence? What do I do if I want to get a card? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. It seems like they've really dropped the ball again. It's really disappointing. And they seem to think that saying again and again that this is such a positive and amazing update, it will be, and I don't think it will be. So I'm a bit disappointed with this update. The cost of Essence Pool, if the reward pools are adjusted accordingly, and you can win a lot more essence, or same amount of essence but on a higher scale than you were this year, then maybe it will be fine. But I have a feeling you're going to find a lot of people saying, I haven't been able to do an essence pull in ages, what's going on? So yeah, it's a frustrating time to be playing Sorare. I'm probably in a bad mood because I have been to hospital and stuff and feel pretty awful, but it's still a disappointing chapter for Sorare, I think. And they need to really sort themselves out in time for the World Cup, because I think that's a time when they can really get people to buy in on the game. And if they got something like Rivals ready to go, like a reimagining of it or something similar to it, where they released it a month before or 2 months before the World Cup, ready for it to be used in the World Cup, I think they would find an influx of players, because that sort of thing was really fun to play with the European competitions, in my opinion. And I think that that's where they need to be looking in the future. In terms of short term, let's just see how Sorare 26 works out. If it's an absolute disaster, we'll find out in the next 3 to 4 months, and then you'll hear from them. But probably another weird, misguided communication rather than the honest truth. But that's my thoughts on it. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you when I see you.